this tutorial, we're looking at how to upload different patterned versions of a clothing item. To follow the tutorial, you need to have installed Unity, you need to have created an account at curator.sine.space, and you need to have installed the Space Editor pack to your Unity project. When you've done that, you should see the Space menu item in your top menu bar in Unity. So in the first clothing tutorial, we showed how to upload a single clothing item. It was these boots. We showed some of the skin deletion tools that the clothing system has. Now I'm going to look at color variations as separate virtual goods for this jacket. So you can see I've got a maroon version, and I'm going to add the same clothing, make clothing or attachment component that I added to the boots. And I'm going to say it covers the chest and the upper chest. I'm going to leave the back because people might wear it with wings or a backpack or something like that. But I'm going to leave the keep materials always toggle open as distinct from what I did with the boots. I'm going to name it Space Top. And I'm going to skin it. Again, if this was a loose top, I would probably be skinning it manually using other applications, but our automated skinning works very well on skin-tight objects like this. So I run that process, and now I'm going to click Prepare, which is going to show me, as with the boots, where the skin deletion is going to take place. But because I left keep materials off, you can see it's removed the material. Now, these red dots, as with the boots in the previous tutorial, show me where skin will be deleted underneath the object. You can also see these yellow dots. This relates to the obscuration distance, where these are parts of the avatar mesh that will be compressed slightly by the clothing. There's a few around the front here as well. I'm going to just set them to 0.005, which is 5 millimeters, because I don't want it to push in too much around the open top here. Now, I'm not going to add any deletion zones because I can see that the skin around here all looks like it's being handled perfectly well by the automated process. So now I'm ready to add the virtual goods component to this, and it's a clothing item. I'm calling it Space Top, a Space Top to wear in space. Brand is us. I've got store and inventory images, PNG files, 430 by 430 and 96 by 96. I've got a brand image as well. I'll leave the pricing. It's not explicit. I'll put the developer details in. And as before, the submit button is grayed out because I'm still working on the version in the scene. So I'm going to drag this into my export folder that I've created here. Now you can see I've got a version in the project folder which I can submit. So I'm submitting it without the textures or the materials, just as a mesh. And because it's a relatively small object, it's a 9 meg file I can see there. So I'll let that run. Once it's submitted, you'll see here there's status written here. When it's submitted, I'm going to get an ID there for the object. And then what I'm going to do is create 3 separate virtual goods items for each of the variations. And I'm going to reference the ID that I'm about to see here with each of those colour variations, and then the store will organise it all, and users will be able to browse them together and purchase them as individual options. So you can see it's given me the ID of 115, so that's the number I need to retain and apply to the new objects. So I'm going to create an empty game object in my scene, and I'm going to call this space top red, and I'm going to add a new component, very simple one, called clothing extra pattern. And here you can see the first field is for the parent clothing item, and that's 115. That's what I just grabbed from down here, having already submitted the mesh. And I've got two fields for diffuse, which is the actual texture, and the normal or bump map. I'm not using a shader path, so I'm just going to find the texture, which is this one here. So I'm going to drag that into the diffuse field and then the bump map in here. And then I'm going to add the virtual goods script. Again, it's a clothing item. It's called space top red. I'm just going to paste that text in there. And for the store and inventory icons for this, I'm just using a color icon just to show the color variation that it will be. Price is fine, and these developer details I'll just chuck in as quick as I can. And the clothing type is a jacket, I think. There we go. So again, I'm going to drag this. I'm going to drag this into the export folder that I've got here, and before I submit it, because I'm going to do variations, just delete that one, and now I'm going to press Control D twice to give me two copies. Control D is Unity's shortcut command for duplicating, and so I'm going to call one of them green, one of them grey, and now with this one I'm going to change the name of the actual product as it appears in the store. I'm going to replace the store and inventory icons, and most importantly of all, I'm going to change the texture. I can leave the bump map obviously because it's the same for all of them, but you can see here I've got a green version of the same pattern. And I'm going to go to the grey one and do the same here, change the product name and description, change the store icon and the inventory icon, and then change the actual texture. Again, you can see I've now got grey, green and red versions of the same virtual good. They all reference that parent mesh object with the ID of 115. So I can now submit them individually, and the clothing extra pattern component will tie it all together in the store. So I click export. Obviously there's nothing to these, so they all run through very quickly. Don't really need to know the ID for this one, but logically it's number 116, unsurprising. Submit the second one, and the red one. So now I'll get emails telling me that they've all been uploaded, and here we are. I jump in World and I can go to the shop, and I go to jackets, and here you can see the object. I'm wearing the green one, and I can browse the different colour variations. I'll buy the grey one. Again, I'm not going to customize. You'll see that in a different tutorial, but I can jump into it. And that is how to create different patterned variations of clothing items in the space virtual world.